I was gonna make a clip about this particular point that Lerato mentioned about chickens. Like, she went off about chickens a little bit more. So I lost the particular timestamps, but I know it's after 40 minutes. I just kind of forgot where exactly. But on Menierti's video, he highlighted them. So I'm just going to simply go and play it from there. It's the Reality Show. We do daily Christian commentary videos. Other episodes done today, they'll be down in the pinned comments. What exactly did she say that I thought was interesting?
Because I know very well there is absolutely no way that chicken KFC can have all those many chickens. Many chickens all over the world. We will be chickenless.
We will be chickenless if if KFC had as many chickens as you see in the shops. And so this was Lerato's claim in the video. As I just thought it was interesting, that particular point.
KFC can have all those many chickens. Many chickens all over the world. We will be chickenless. The chickens will be finished. Do you understand what I'm saying?
So, Lerato Shasha is back to stress God on the internet again.
You're stressing God. Anyways, yeah, no. That was a very funny comment. But it's a very important thing that she mentions here. And I think Benierchi's video was posted about an hour or so from this time when you're watching this video. So you can go over there and check out his video. Now, there's something I said when I went to ST's YouTube channel. I highlighted the problem with these things that they are doing here.
India, because we know Indian women have very, very strong hair. There are entire temples where they offer their hair, and those people have turned that and made business out of it. Now, if you were addressing that, this would be another thing. But also, that's a deliverance. But so, we must bring back the intelligence aspect in the gospel, and by educating.
Now, right there, I'm just kind of like explaining this point of how this whole thing of blaming everything on the devil has brought, it makes us look as if we are non-intelligent people. That was on ST's interview when I visited. And so I'll leave that video in the description below. So I mentioned this makes the gospel message sound dumb. See, the devil knows what he's doing by making these people popular and making all these people go viral. It's because it makes the gospel sound silly. And with Lerato's claim here that there is no way KFC can have so many chickens, it just emphasizes how silly this idea is.
Because I know very well there is absolutely no way that chicken KFC can have all those many chickens. Many chickens all over the world. We will be chickenless. The chicken.
And the way she's sure, absolutely. We will be chickenless if KFC had so many chickens. So the only explanation, those are not real chickens. Dangerous message. Now, why do I say this? I once mentioned it before, but I've never actually fully explained what I was actually kind of breaking down. I worked on a project with the Department of Science and Technology, and I shot a documentary where I used to interview different people in different industries. particularly industries like the Department of, I would question people like the police doing their police works and whatnot when they were doing these projects for career guidance and stuff like that, right? And one of the thing, like the space communication people and what, the innovation people, the people that deal with innovations in South Africa, there's particular organizations for that. So you'd go talk to these people and you realize that the world is much bigger than what you think. Because there's entire, you don't even know about. But there was a particular department I spoke to, or I interviewed. I'm going to play you a video. I shot the video. I'm going to play you. Because I was a video cameraman and editor back then. This lady is from the Department of Forestry and thingy. She deals with food security. Listen to it here.
Department of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries in the Chief Directorate Food Security offers a number of support to agricultural producers, be it household subsistence farmers, smallholder farmers, as well as schools and clinics for agricultural production. Through the program, Agriculture Extension, we do offer advice, training, agricultural support.
So, you hear the things that this particular department deals with. That's what they deal with. Advising, whether the big farmers, the small farmers. These are very passionate people. They are passionate talking about fruits, talking about green beans, passionate talking about bananas and the production of the bananas, passionate talking about food security, making sure we have food. That's what they deal with. Okay? And so that was the first portion of the interview I did with her. And then later on, there was a section in this whole thing, this particular thing that they did, where she was now advising a man who had a bit of a big farm, but he was trying to get advice on how to go about. This part is a bit in vernac, so I'll have to interpret a little bit. So here she is explaining to this man, that the same lady, that there is a research that they are conducting to see different forms of production, so that to see which one, POV, whatever they call it, that which one is more beneficial. They are doing it in Limpopo and the other one is being done in Eastern Cape. So she's explaining that process. So he's asking and inquiring, when it comes to the GMO products and whatnot, how do you guys advise on that and all that?
So far, biosafety, data research, so far,
notice what she's talking about there. She's talking about there are certain seeds that can take an area which is heavily dealing with drought. As an average person, you won't know. Okay? And so there's all these seeds that they will do research to see which one can produce and yield fruit in an environment like this or an environment like that. There are people who do this type of researches And then they can now advise on the basis of those research work that's been done. So that's what she's doing here. She's advising the men on all of that.
Very many nutrients in our
Ingredients.
Notice, she then says, because of the advice that they would have given, because remember, that's what their job is. Their job is to advise people, whether it be small farmer, on what kind of yields can you expect. These are the programs they have. Till now, they have them. You can go to the Department of Agriculture and they'll tell you the education places, how they advise from all things. There's researchers that do these things. And then also, I heard her talking about many chickens and what. And she does not understand the capacity at which there are poetries, whatever you call them, how large those places are and how much chicken they can get. They can carry so much chicken, it can feed your entire life. This one particular video, this video I didn't shoot it. This video is from on YouTube. You can just research South Africa. These are all from South Africa. These are researchers. This is a poetry in South Africa that deals with chicken.
My name is Soli Moloko. I'm a descendant of the family that originally bought this land we call Molute City in 1874. We started in 2017 with 2 houses that were housing 10,200 chickens. But we soon realized that in this industry, unless you are sufficiently big, you are never going to make a sustainable business.
Did you hear that? They encourage bigger, because that is what not only creates business, but the supply chains. Because the bigger you are, the more supply chains you have. They will come to you and they say they want 50,000 chickens. Now to you, it sounds, huh? At one go, okay? Not maybe yearly. They might require 100,000 chicken per year or whatnot. Some of these contracts, you have to get into a contract in order for you to think. So for you to get certain supply chains, if you said you were supplying to houses that actually supply for the big supermarkets and all those things, they need people who are consistent. They need people who they know. And where do they get that? You just heard. There's advices. They know how to. They can anticipate how much produce. Like she said in that interview, they deal with food security, knowing we will have this much potentially. That's how they can even predict how bad the drought can affect the produces that come out at certain areas. That's how they know, because they've done the research and they can advise these farmers. Now, how many chickens does his poultry? Remember, he said they only had 2, and out of those 2, they used to produce 10,000, meaning 5,000 each. Listen to how much they produce now with the much houses that they have for this.
So we moved on to procure other additional 4 houses, which in total housed 66,000 by 2018. And fortunately, we did join Top Lay towards the end of 2017, which also assisted us to access some of the markets that we couldn't on our own.
You hear, Top Lay is the one that have this video. You can actually find it, the video on thing. They do particularly for eggs and whatnot, and they can produce up to 60,000 60,000. You heard him saying there. You see, it's important people have context around these things. This idea of these conversations that sounds very unintelligent. I know this particular thing of food security, and because I was very interested in, because there is a lot of assistance that's there in those particular lanes of things. So these conversations, where do they get the chickens? Very, very low grade village thinking. That's not an insult. It's village thinking, because you have the internet, you have all these things, and you can't even pick up one person, 60,000 produce. One. That's one farm. How many farms are there? And how many of those? And remember, food is also graded. You know that, right? They grade food. They'll tell you this chicken is this grade or whatever. They grade all these things. And the grade tells you, the higher grade ones, by grading, is that maybe it's this size, it's what, it has all that stuff. And that is what makes it more expensive. That's why you'll find some eggs sold at a very at one of these shops, and then you're like, why is this more expensive than this one? It's the grade that goes with. And so these conversations are unintelligent, because they avoid industry. They avoid the workings of industry and the ins and outs of industry. Must be very careful when you start pushing this type of agendas. It does not acknowledge, which is what I was saying when I was on the interview with ST there. Lerato says she's very sure that there is no such a way that KFC can have so many chickens. It's very, that's a very low. That's why they can have a specific markets that just sells malani, just in intestines. Then they have one that just sells heads. Then there's one there that will sell chicken drums. Then there's one that will sell different parts and what. So that creates all these markets. Mautwana, they'll just have one that just sells feet, chicken feet. It's because there's all these people. Now imagine all these people are creating all these different shoots of market. Drums there, what. That's how. So it's unintelligent. It lacks the understanding of how industry works. If you walk right now, if you walked to the Department of Agriculture and you said, I need assistance, I want to acquire this particular, they even are these plans where they assist in that as well. Of course, nowadays you have to deal with corruption, there's too much corruption and what. But those programs are there to where they can advise in those areas. It's unintelligent, and we should be watchful over these voices that go around screaming, KFC can't have so many chickens. It's void of understanding of industry. 66,000, you heard it. 1%, that's one. That's how. Go then research how many are out there. You were just hearing just one. Unintelligent conversations, we must be very careful with those. It's Ricky, we're done.